Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And y'all, I just finished harvesting the rest of my striped green beans, but also the royal burgundy bush beans. Now, you all, the sun is, I'm probably guessing, it's probably almost 9 o'clock now. I've been out here a couple hours and getting some harvesting done. I even harvested a couple of the ears of corn, but I realized the silks were not quite as dry as I thought. There are some of them that are, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably give them a couple of more days on the plant. But anyway, you all, here's one. I've harvested all of the royal burgundy. Now, the one thing I will say about the royal burgundy bush beans, you all, is that although they are a beautiful, beautiful bean, right? All right. Now, they are a beautiful bean, okay? The only thing about this royal burgundy bush bean is that as beautiful as it is, that deep burgundy, it doesn't stay like this when you cook it, right? They turn that deep green, just like any other green bean. They turn from the burgundy to the green. But most people like growing the royal burgundy because you can see it easier against the green foliage when you are harvesting. Now, the one thing that I will say, and I'm going to break one and show you, is that, let's see, I'll break this one, is that I've sacrificed 2 of my green beans. Is that even when you are harvesting, you can still miss them because the stems are also burgundy, right? So sometimes when you have green beans that are sitting right up against the stem, you may still miss a few, and then you'll come back and you'll find it looking like this, right? And you're like, how did I miss that? But that's because the stems are also that burgundy color as well. And look at those beautiful royal burgundy flowers. Aren't they just beautiful? I just love the way they look. They're just gorgeous to me, y'all. But you can still miss a few if you have some that's down deep in the plant and it's sitting up against those deep, dark burgundy stems. But most people like to grow them for the sake of being able to see them up against the green leaves. Because as you could see, while the stem is still that deep burgundy, the leaves are a beautiful bright green, right? So you could see them easier against the foliage, not so much against the stem. So you still got to get in there and look closely and carefully when you are harvesting your royal burgundy bush beans, y'all. And as you can see in this row, the royal burgundy goes up to the sunflower and stops. And then all behind the sunflower is all of the striped green beans. Now, and another thing I will say as well, the strike is still the most prolific. As you can see, I have more strike in the bottom of my basket. See down in there? I have more strike down in there than I do the royal burgundy, even though I've harvested some of the royal burgundy also. I've harvested quite a bit of them, but they just don't compare in production. So if you're wanting to grow something fun, you know, the grandbabies would love to help pick them, you know. My grandson, he comes out and he picks them. and he pick them all. He don't care what size. He get these too. I'm like, they not ready yet. He like, oh, okay. He still pick them. So, so they love coming out here picking the Burgundy beans, right? But if you want a good flavor and production, I'm still going to say Strike is top of the line for me. Now, we've had some of these beans to go too far, and I'm going to show you what they look like. Give me 1 second, because I've tossed them over for the chickens to get. Whoops. Now, there's a difference. You can see how deep Burgundy these are, right? Look at how deep the color is. But when they've gone too far, they look like a very pale purple. Very, very pale. Now, let me put them side by side so you can see. Look at the color. See, these have gone way too far. And I won't eat these. I'll just, you know, I have a few in my little bucket over there that I will give to my chickens. So sometimes that's how easy it is to miss some of them, right? So now you all, about planting. Somebody asked me a few questions. I'm trying to remember them all. If I don't remember them all, I just saw a beautiful robin. Just beautiful. But anyway, y'all, these green beans, somebody asked me about planting and when did I plant and how many beans did I plant, how close together did I plant them. Okay, so now you all, typically you can plant green beans 6 inches apart, right? 1 or 2 beans in a hole 6 inches apart. Now, the way I do it, we have ground cover down, and I did not want to burn holes every 6 inches. I just didn't. I'm like, I'm not gonna be out here all day burning holes. So I put a hole every foot in the ground cover, and I dropped 2 to 3 beans per hole. Sometimes all 3 of them sprout, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just 2 or 1. It doesn't, you know, that's just the way it is. Everything doesn't always germinate, right? So I will put 2 to 3 beans every foot. So look, can you imagine if this would have been 6 inches apart, right? So I planted these all a foot apart, 2 to 3 beans per space, okay? Yeah, 2 to 3 bean seeds per space, and you can see just how full the row is, all right? So that's how closely together I'm planting them. And typically we would plant our green beans in April, but for the last 2 years, that hasn't worked out for us. I planted green beans in April last year, you know, a few weeks after the frost had passed, right? That did not work. We lost them all. None of them came up. It was too cold. This year we waited about 2 weeks or so later than our average frost. That still did not work because we still had cold temperatures. So then I think I planted these in May, and this is June. I don't know what day. Let me see. It is Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday, June 28th. So I planted these in May. Could have been the second week of May. And so we're just about 2 months in, and you can see how they've grown, and you can see just how much production we're getting from them. And I do want to say it was the first week of May when we planted, first or second week, but in any case, you can see the production, all right? So the green beans do very, very well. Oh, Mrs. H, how many plants should I plant, right? Now that's gonna all depend on, number 1, the size of your family. Number 2, just how much do you eat, right? How much do you eat? How, if you were to can quarts, if you have a large family, you may can quarts. If it's just you may do pints, right? But you still have to decide just how much do you eat. So now, this row right here is a 50-foot row here, but we planted every foot, right? So we have approximately, I'm not going to say there are 50 plants. I'll say there are about 45 plants or so, or something like that. You know, between 40, 45 plants. And we get a lot of green beans. But here again, we eat a lot of green beans. We love green beans and potatoes, right? Now, the green beans that I'm harvesting right now, I've been canning them by themselves, right? But I'm also canning potatoes. So if I wanted to open up a jar of green beans and add in a jar of potatoes, I can do that. Or I can do half green beans, half potatoes in my quart-sized jars. And I have videos on that, you all. And I will post my pressure canning playlist at the end of this video, because someone else asked, can you do a video showing how you can green beans? And I think I have 2 videos about pressure canning green beans, okay? So I will put the entire pressure canning playlist at the end of this video, and then you can go through it, because there's so much there that you can go through, okay? So, you all of these green beans. Oh, and then I still have the jades over there that I have to go and check on today too and harvest. And I'm trying to get outside as early as I can, because y'all, this week the temperatures are going to be dangerously high, and you don't want to be outside if you are in the South, Texas, Georgia, Louisiana. Oh my goodness, y'all. Even in South Carolina, the temperatures are so hot right now. So you want to be very careful if you're going to be out harvesting, y'all. Try to come out as early as you can to get it done. I haven't even let my animals out yet. The first thing was I need to come out here first, because it's going to get hot real quick. And green beans take a long time to pick, especially if you're doing it by yourself and you're doing an entire row like this. It can take some time. So you all, for me, I knew this would be the most time consuming, and so I started here first. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab Mr. H's eggplant. I'm going to be doing an eggplant caponata along with some Parmesan for his meals, because you know we all love eggplant, but he loves eggplant. So I'll be canning the caponata, I believe, this week as well, to get that eggplant taken care of. So y'all, that's gonna do it for this video on the Royal Burgundy beans, and then answering some of your questions about the Royal Burgundy bush beans as well. Now, gosh, I know it was a few more questions. Oh, okay. I think somebody asked me about these leaves, you know, why they look like this, right? Because they're dying. That's all. Nothing wrong with them. They're dying. Or either I broke it and didn't know, you know. So it happens, you know. It's just gonna happen, you know. As long as the plant is still growing and producing and making brand new leaves, it's fine. There's nothing wrong here, okay? Unless you're talking about something else, I don't know. But if you're talking about my leaves being yellow like this, it's just because I probably broke them, or one of the cats run through here all the time, whether we're out here or not. The cats run through, they step on plants, you know, because they're chasing things out here. And actually this morning, you all, that rabbit, I was just trying to get a close-up video of the rabbit that I was telling you about, that is as big as our cat, okay? And he was over near the beehives, and when I turned the camera and positioned it, it made a little bit of noise, and he held his head up and stood up, literally on his hind legs. He stood up, and he is huge. This rabbit is huge. And when he looked at me, he ran back off into the brush. So I don't know, I'll try to get him on camera one day. But that rabbit is absolutely huge. I wouldn't fight that rabbit. He big. But anyway, y'all, I hope he's not the rabbit that is tearing up our crops, because if it is, yeah, we're gonna have to fight. There's no doubt about it. We're gonna have to go at it. So, but anyway, y'all, that's gonna do it for the green bean harvest. I hope you found the video helpful. Oh, is it too late to start green beans? I think someone asked. No, it's not. Listen, you're gonna need a good 2 months for these to grow from seed to harvest, okay? A good 60 days, all right? Maybe even 75. If you still have 75 days left in your growing season, put them down. In fact, I could start a whole nother crop of green beans if I wanted to. If something happened to these where I had to pull them all up and start again, I could do that. But I don't need to do that. Mine are doing very well, producing very well. So I don't have a need to start green beans over again, okay? So you all, if you got a good 75 days left in your growing season, by all means, drop yourself some bush variety of green beans. The pole beans, depending on the variety, can take a little bit longer, much longer than these that I have down here, okay? Because we planted some Kentucky Wonder pole beans over around our corn, and they although they have grown and they're beginning to flower, they haven't produced anything yet, but these are in full production. All right, so I hope I have answered all of your questions, you all. You can, oh, one more. Maybe I should have wrote them down, right? How do you preserve them? I did say canning. But another way you can preserve them is you can dehydrate them. You can freeze dry them, or you can freeze them. If you want, you can take the green beans inside. You want to put them in some boiling water and blanch them for 3 minutes, I believe. 3-4 minutes or something like that. And then take them out of the boiling water and immediately put them in an ice water bath, okay? And once you do that, then you're going to take them out, dry them out, and layer them so that they don't stick together when you're freezing them. But you can freeze them on a sheet, right? And once they're frozen, then you can take them off of your sheet pan or whatever and start putting them in freezer bags. But don't just take them out of cold water, dump them in a bag, and then put them in the freezer. You'll have a clump, a glob of green beans stuck together, you know. So if you don't want that, now that may not bother you, but if you don't want that, then of course you'll want to, you know, kind of like pre-freeze them a little bit with them not being stuck on top of each other before you put them in your freezer bag. All right, so y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. Raw Burgundy harvested. How they look? All right, y'all, they looking pretty good, and they taste amazing. They taste amazing, you all. They taste so good. And when I can them, I don't even bother canning them separate from my strike. I wash them all, snap them all, and I just put them in the jars together. And once the canning process is done, they all look the same. And because they both taste good, then yeah, I can put them in a jar together, okay? So y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that we upload to our channel. Thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. And remember, y'all, grow your groceries. Yeah, grow your groceries.